G'day guys, welcome to Roo Hammer Season 2, Episode 41. Thank you so much, all you guys, for joining us. Mate, how you going?
I'm good, mate. I just want to say to all the Māori people out there, tēnā koutou I tēnei ahiahi, which basically means hello and how are you? Te wiki o te reo Māori, so it's Māori Language Week this week, which is why I'm wearing my Māori singlet. So just saying hello to all the Māoris that have tuned in to watch us.
Yeah, you really are marvellous at speaking Māori. Fantastic.
How you doing, mate? How's your week been?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. Yeah, business as usual up here. Missing not watching the boys play this week, but it's been some good footy otherwise.
We've got the next best thing happening though, haven't we?
That's it. Absolutely, we do.
Yeah, we'll get into it, mate. Tonight we're joined by a very special guest. We're very fortunate to be joined by a current Vodafone Warriors star who has surprisingly has only played 20 NRL games, 19 of those with our beloved Vodafone Warriors. Season 2021 has been his real breakout season and was arguably our most improved player of the season. Welcome to the show, Warrior 238, Josh Curran. How are you, brother?
No, I'm good, boys. Thanks for having me.
No worries, mate.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, thanks for joining us. So we'll get started. We'll go right back to where it all began for you. Let me ask where your rugby league journey began. Can you tell us about where you grew up and who was your junior club?
So I grew up in Castle Hill. Then my very first junior club was the Maryland Rams. I used to always go watch Dad play. Mum used to always take us, and my brother used to sit with my mum, and I used to always go in the dressing shed with my dad. And man, the deep Pete in that dressing shed, it was pretty intense. But so I used to always go watch my dad play at a real young age. Apparently I was just used to always because apparently I was a little menace when I was young, so I used to actually run away from my parents. One day Dad was just like, "Oh, stuff it. He's got to chuck him in footy." So I played my first footy game at the age of 3 with my brother.
Wow.
3.
Yeah.
Wow. It's you were educated at St. Pat's College at Blacktown, which is a really prominent rugby league school here in Sydney. A school very close to my heart. We've been talking off camera. I actually played A-grade footy there with Matty Lodge's dad, Jamie. It's always been a great nursery for rugby league and talent progressing through to the NRL. What was it like playing schoolboy footy at such a prominent rugby league school, surrounded by so many players now? Because we were talking off camera. It's so weird. There's so many boys at the Warriors now that actually went to school there.
Yeah, bro. It's Paddy's is actually a real good school. I loved it. The amount of actually NRL players that come out of that school is pretty crazy to think about it. And like we were saying off the camera, a couple of the boys that I was actually in year 7 when they were in year 12.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy, man. But I remember playing schoolboy footy. I used to love it there, playing with all my best mates, because all the boys from my junior league actually went to that school as well. So we were pretty much with each other during the week and on the weekend. So yeah, it was pretty fun. We made heaps of memories about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came through the Parramatta junior system playing both Harold Matts and SG Ball. How did you come to be at the Roosters, and what was it like playing for Bears in the Canterbury Cup competition?
Yeah, so Para start their development real young. They start their development. So came through the 13s and played Matts. Then went to SG Ball. Then I was actually meant to go to 20s. I was got to miss a year of SG Ball and play 20s, but then Roosters came in hard and really wanted me. So went to Roosters and got the opportunity to go to Roosters because I actually idolise Boy Cordner. So when they offered me, that was pretty much a no-brainer. Like I really wanted to go there. Then got the opportunity to go there. Then played Cup for North Sydney Bears. I played 20s for 2 years there. with Shawnee Wets Jacko. So we always laugh about that.
Yeah.
Then, we'll actually before North Sydney Bears, they were actually the Warangaroos.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. Yeah.
So we used to, so every Friday we used to travel up for the captain's run and stay over the night. And I remember there's a couple of weeks where all the boys, because we used to go to the RSL, and they used to have a tab, and all the boys used to just order that much. Where they've actually said, "No, boys, you actually got a limit to what you're having," because the boys used to order like oysters, and they just used to order like 2 main meals and that entrees. It was actually crack up. Then Wyong pulled out. Then we went to North Sydney Bears, and the Bears, that was actually a real good experience. The fans there, they actually had a real good fan base, and actually like story about North Sydney Bears is real interesting as well. But I loved playing footy there.
Mate, we've got so many degrees of separation. Like you went to the school that I played footy at in the Penrith comp. You played at Marylands, and my nephews played at Maryland Rams in the Parramatta comp. You played up at Wyong. I used to work at Wyong Leagues Club, and you played at the Bears. And I'm a Bear. I played for the Bears back in the 88, 89, 90. So
it's such a small.
Bears, bro. Did you ever go across the road to Percy's and have a beer? The pub right across the road from the North Sydney Oval.
Is that the bowling club?
No, not the bowling club, not the Greens. The other one. So where Miller Street is, the main drag, and you got Morris North Sydney right across the road.
No.
There's a pub on the corner.
No.
That's the school I went to, the one opposite North Sydney Oval.
I know what school you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Small world. Mate, we'll get back to you though. Enough about me. You're named. you make your name to make your NRL debut in 2019 in round 6 for the Roosters against Storm at Amy Park. How did that call up come about?
Bro, that was actually a funny story because so there was one training session where Robert's like, just come along the training session. So this is when I was full time, but the grade boys, they separated from us boys, for that week. And Robbo said, mate, come along. So I went along and he goes, yeah, mate, we're going to take you down as 18th man. And that was my first ever time being 18th man. And I was buzzing. I was like, oh, this is going to be mad. Like, this is hectic. And I told mum and dad. And mum and dad were going to fly down. But I said no to them. Like it's early for the experience. Then, we get down to Melbourne. And my roommate was Siwa. Takiaho. Yep. And I remember he had he woke up the next morning with a sore back, and he told me about it, and he's just like, oh bro, I got a sore back, and I was just like, oh, that's no good, man, like maybe have another rest and like you'll be sweet. Then he had like another rest, and before we got on the bus, I don't know what happened. I think he went to speak to Robbo saying about his back's being like pretty sore. Then Robbo came up to me and he just said, mate, Siwa's got a pretty sore back. Like, if he pulls out, you're going to debut. And my emotions just like, oh, man, what's going on here? Like, I've told mum and dad not to come down. Like, what am I meant to do? I remember I called. Oh, we had like a group chat. We have a group chat. And I texted him straight away, like, Robbo just told me this. Like, I don't know. And I was like low key, to be honest, oh, really hope he pulls out. At the same time, like, first time ever been like at Amy Park, and I was like, oh, it's pretty like it's a mad stadium. Then I remember Siwa came over to me. He's like, oh, do you like the stadium? I'm like, yeah, man, it's so good, eh? And he just he goes, yeah, it's pretty nice. And he just walked away, and I didn't take any note of it. Then I went back into the shed, and Robbo came up to me. He's like, yeah, mate, Siwa's pulled out. His back's no good. Congratulations, you're going to be debuting. And I just looked at him and like I don't know what to do. Like I had a little tear, but like in the back of my head, I was like, oh no, mum and dad. And, I went to grab my phone straight away, but apparently our manager already called dad, telling him, and they were over the moon. So it was a pretty crazy story, but I remember that game. We won by the field goal, and it was a crazy game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what a game to debut. It's probably one of the modern classics You get out to the Roosters get out to a 20-0 lead, and it goes into the Storm fight back 20-all, goes into Golden Point, as you said. Latrell Mitchell with that monster field goal at the end to win it for the Roosters. What do you remember about the game itself, like running out in the field and
No,
all
I
that
just
kind of
remember.
thing?
I remember going for warm up, and the guy I used to do like gym. The guy, my personal trainer that I used to train with before I started, he was actually down there for a Bucks party, and I remember I said, I told him I was debuting, and he full left the Bucks party to come watch me play.
Oh, wow.
I remember running out for the warm up, and I just heard this massive Josh, and I looked over and he's just waving his hand. So that was pretty cool. I felt like I just started laughing, but yeah, going out there and just warming up with the boys, it was pretty like I don't know, it's a weird feeling, like you're like real happy, but you're like real keen, and you just kind of can't believe that it's happening. Then I remember just Robbo saying, mate, like we believe in you, like we wouldn't be debuting you if we didn't think you could do it. So he was real good, and I remember Coops came over to me, and he actually spoke to me, and he just like calmed me down and goes, pretty much just said, mate, like relax, like enjoy it, soak it all up, like congratulations, and pretty much you're meant to be here. And I remember running out, and when I got onto the field, I just went all out. And probably like 2 minutes into the game, I was gassed. I think I played about 14 minutes, but I remember just running around, like just trying to do everything, and I probably gassed myself out in the first 2 minutes.
Bro, you had a mid-season switch from the Roosters to our beloved Vodafone Warriors that year. How did that come about, and how did you find the change moving from Sydney to Auckland?
Yeah, so the Warriors asked me if I wanted to get a release and come over, and at first I was like, oh, because I never moved out of home or didn't live by myself. So at first I was like, I wasn't keen on it. Then I kind of looked into it, and I was just like, well, I got Boydo and Angus Crichton in front of me. Then they also had Satili Tupanua there that was coming through.
Yep.
And I just knew I wasn't going to get much of an opportunity. I remember it was before it was when the timeline, the cutoff was June 30th.
Yep.
I remember, I think it was, I got told on June the 26th. So I had 4 days to make a decision.
That's right. Yeah.
And that was actually pretty like a stressful 4 days. I think it was more stressful for my mum and dad, or to be honest, probably more my mum, because she didn't want me to move out, because my brother already moved out up to Goldie, and and Dad kind of just said, mate, like you got to take these opportunities. Then my manager, he was just like, pretty much it's got to be a good opportunity to take. So I took it, and I remember I was packing my bags and Mum was crying, and but she was like happy for me, but she was upset. And I remember I was like, because I had my dog, I brought my dog like a year ago, before I moved over. And I remember I was like, oh, what am I going to do with him? Like, I want to bring him over. Then I was probably more upset about not taking my dog over. I was like, oh, I got to take my dog and that. Then Mum's like, no, you're not taking it. He's staying here. I was like, all right, sweet. So, so pretty much had 4 days to make this decision. Then I think I made the decision on the 29th or 28th, and packed my bags, and the next day flew over to NZ.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something fine. you end up making your Warriors debut in round 20 that year against the Raiders at Mount Smart Stadium. It must have been a surreal feeling for you, though, making your debut for two clubs in the same season.
Yeah, I remember. It was pretty cool, actually. I remember Mooks told me, he's like, yeah, mate, we're going to play you this weekend. I remember always, like, the boys telling me, like, playing at Mount Smart Stadium on a Friday night, like, the crowds are nuts, like, and that's one thing I really miss, is playing at Mount Smart with all the fans and that. But I remember going out there and we had the Raiders. I remember it was a cold night. It was like a freezing night. I remember I went out warming up, and I was like, oh man, this is so cold. Then yeah, I think we lost that night. I think we
Badly.
yeah, I think it was like we got beat 30-6 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the experience. I love playing at Mount Smart, honestly. Yeah, I really miss it.
As you said, mate, we didn't get the result that night, but you also played in the round 25 game that season, ironically, again, against the Raiders. And we got home thanks to a late Blake Green try in that game. How do you look back on that first season at the Warriors? Or, you know, basically your first season playing first grade at two different clubs?
Bro, yeah, I remember telling Jared Hargraves, I remember after I debuted, I said to him, like, mate, it's like an addiction. You just want to keep playing and keep playing. Then when I got the 2 games again, I was like, oh, like I pretty much just loved it. And I remember I wanted to have a big year last year, but I had a couple of problems last year and wasn't like on track and wasn't on my game, and kind of last year was a bit of a waste for me. But yeah, I'm also grateful that it happened because kind of set me up for this year.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. At the start of 2020, you make your debut for the Indigenous All-Stars alongside your future teammate in young Maney, Jermaine Tanoa Brown. Tell us a bit about this experience and what it meant to you and your family.
Yeah, so I remember the seeing the side getting selected, and I seen my name. I double looked. I was like, "Oh, that's me!" And I was so stoked. Like I hold my Indigenous side really close to my heart, and yeah, playing for that jersey, honestly, it's something so special to me and my family. I hope I can play it every year, but yeah, the experience, even probably the best part about it is not like also playing it, but also the camp leading up to it. You just learn so much about your culture, and yeah, just having the boys around there, and we just talk about just stories and about our elders, and yeah, just all our Aboriginal cultures, and that it's something really special.
Is the Indigenous on your mum's side or your dad's side or both?
Nah, my mum's side.
Mum's side, okay.
Yeah.
Mate, we'll go back to 2020. As you said, the start of the 2020 season will always be associated with the emergence of the COVID pandemic and, you know, what we're going through now. You were sidelined with a calf injury, I think, at the beginning of last year. And I'm assuming you were in New Zealand at the time the news broke of the closing of the international borders. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I was I remember we played, was it Newcastle that round?
Played Newcastle and then Canberra. So we played Newcastle, then they shut the borders, the boys stayed for an extra week, played Canberra, and then the comp was called off,
So I had a fitness test that week, and I was meant to play that Newcastle game, but my calf, I had a little tear in my calf and it was no good. And I remember we stayed back. Then that week that news came out about the boys staying over because they shut the borders.
Yep.
And we kind of didn't think about it. Then when they played Canberra and they said the boys were stuck there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So four of us came over and we actually were quarantining to play the come back for the Canberra game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's right. That's what happened. So yeah, when we got told that the boys were stuck there, so it was me, Iggy, Ignatius Parsi,
yep,
Paddy Herbert, and Jazz Tavunga.
Yep.
We had to go to Lennox Head and quarantine for 14 days before joining the team because we thought they were going to be stuck there. Then that's after that game. I think we got to like our 10th day and they cancelled the comp. We all looked at each other. We were like, "Nah, you can't be serious. We just quarantined." Then, I remember meeting up with the boys the next day and we flew back home. Then that's when we went into that's when COVID hit really hard and NZ went into lockdown for I don't know maybe 2 months.
Yeah, it was a while over there, wasn't it? Because you guys were doing your training via Zoom calls and solo training for a team sport, which is extremely unusual. And New Zealand was in a hard lockdown. I know that at that time period. Was it difficult to stay motivated? especially when there was so much uncertainty about how the comp was going to restart, if it was going to restart, and then how that was going to affect you guys coming back over to Australia.
Yeah, so when I lived in NZ, I used to live with Jacko, Jackson Fry, and Carl Lawton. So we kind of it was pretty good for us because we kind of motivated each other just to go train in that. And so we were doing all our training over Zoom, and just I remember they gave us training gear, and me and Jacko set our garage up into like a little gym.
Yep.
So we pretty much said we're going to train every morning because we had to. But it was actually pretty crazy because we didn't know if the comp was going to start or what was happening. Then we got told that the comp's got to start. Then we flew back over. So I remember because there was because the partners couldn't come over.
Yep.
So a couple of the boys were a bit iffy because, which is fair enough. They didn't want to leave their families, and some had babies and that. But we flew over here, and we went to quarantine in Tamworth.
Yeah.
We had a quarantine for, I think it was a month or 2 weeks. I think we stayed in Tamworth for like a month or 2 weeks. Then moved to Terrigal. Then then trained up to there. Then the comp started again. But that period was honestly, it was, I don't know how to say it. It was just a weird period.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, it must have been difficult with such a young squad and not being accustomed to being away from home for such a long and indefinite period.
Yeah. So it would have been hard. I did feel for the boys. Obviously, moving away from their family and that, and they didn't know when they could come see their family because I think their families came over probably like around 13 in that year. So they were away from their family and kid for about 3 months.
Yeah. Because the NRL, I mean, there was a lot of talk about it last year, and we spoke to Cam George about it too, and he was doing a lot behind the scenes. And it was basically the NRL were trying to get him over here, but it was the Australian and the New Zealand government.
Yeah, it was the governments that because I remember the NRL kept saying, they're coming. Yep. But they'd put the application in and they'd decline it, and it was just a big hoo-ah about it then. I remember a couple of the boys got real angry and they just said, "No, we can't do it anymore," which is fair enough. Family come first. Yeah,
absolutely. Mate, can you give us a description what life inside the COVID bubble last season was like? Because it's been completely different this season, I know, but because for most of us, we were all going about our normal lives, but you guys were under that strict level 3 NRL COVID where, you'd have to set up barrier fences when you went to the gym to do a gym session, and you couldn't really associate with the general public whilst you're up there in Terrigal. Was that a difficult period? And who were your housemates at that Terrigal venue last year?
So my housemates we had a couple of housemates. I had Jack Murchie and also who do I have? Oh, Jack Hetherington when he came in.
Oh, the wild man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Mad Jack.
And the COVID bubble, that was crazy. That was pretty strict. So we had every time we went to, because we were training at Impact Center, which is just a big gym. Oh,
yep.
Wow.
You're right. We got you.
You still here?
Yeah, you're still with us.
Yep.
Oh, here I am. No, my computer. Sorry, boys. My computer just glitched.
It happens.
So when we went to the gym, they would have fences and that. So it was pretty weird. I remember we used to walk in, and like everyone just used to look at us because like we took up half the gym, and everyone just used to look at us because where our gym were where all the squat racks and the what else? The bench, the bench and that were. So everyone wanted to use that, but they couldn't use it because we were there. So they all just like give us biggest dirties. Oh. But even going to get groceries, one person were allowed to go get groceries and that.
Yeah.
But it was pretty difficult. And also, if you didn't play grade, you didn't play at all.
Yeah, that's right.
It was pretty hard to stay motivated because if you didn't play grade, you was pretty much just going there and getting pumped every Saturday, and all the boys kind of pretty much got over it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
When the season does restart, though, we have some mixed results on the field. So we have a win against the Dragons, 18-0, and a 26-0 loss to Penrith, 37-26 win over the Cowboys. The next game is a 40-12 loss to Souths. And after that game, Steve Kearney is unfortunately sacked. As fans, we were pretty blindsided by that decision. I imagine it was a massive shock for the playing group as well.
Yeah, so after that game, we had review. I remember I remember walking there. The tension was just so weird because we got pumped, and I didn't know what it was. Something just felt strange. I remember the leadership crew. They walked in, and they just had their head down, didn't say anything, and just walked in. And I remember Mooks walked in crying, and everyone's like, "Oh, what the hell?" Because no one knew, and everyone's just like, "Oh, damn, like what's going on here?" Because I thought maybe someone passed away in his family or something, and I just didn't know what was going on. Then he told us the news, and it was really upsetting. But now he's in the finals, and
just re-signed. He's re-signed for another 2 years, I think, too.
Yeah. Just re-signed for another 2 years, but I remember all the boys the boys done a haka for him, and all the boys got around him and just wished him all the best, and I guess that's how, to be honest, just all business.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, doesn't make it any easier though, does it?
No, it doesn't at all. But I guess you just got to get around them people when that stuff happens.
Mate, Todd Payton's given the interim coach's job. And his first assignment is against the Melbourne Storm, a game which was probably our worst performance of the season. And it was your first game since the comp restarted too. TP's press conference, or Toddy's press conference, was one of those no-nonsense, direct, and he maintained that hard-nosed approach all through the season. How did you find him as a coach? Did you like him as a coach? Did you find him too tough, or?
No, I really like Toddy. He's a guy that's real straight up. Like, if you're not playing good, like he'll tell you, he'll tell you real bluntly. And I guess some people don't like it, but I don't know, the way I've been raised, that's how I'd rather straight honesty than beating around the bush.
Absolutely, yeah.
But he was real good. I actually I really liked him, and he got me pretty much back on track on footy.
After that Melbourne game, after we got smashed, Cam Smith came into the dressing room and addressed the players. What did he say to you guys, and how was it received by the players and staff?
Oh, it was so. After every game last year, all the teams would come up to us and just thank us for our for coming over and keeping the game going on, and which is respectful, but I just got to the point where we all just said, like, man, like after we got beat by 40 points, we just we didn't want to hear it. And like we understand, like all the teams were saying that, but we kind of said to each other, like, man, like we got to stop doing this. Like, we can't have people coming in every week and saying like, thank you for sacrificing and like keeping the game going. Like, I know we've done this, and all the boys pretty much just said to each other, like, we've done this, but there's a bigger picture why we're doing it. We want to try to win the comp, and that's what Will said, and it stopped after that game, I'm pretty sure.
It pretty much became a soundbite, didn't it? Like on all the rugby league programs, I don't know if you guys watch them or not, because they never give the Warriors much kudos in any of those shows anyway. But they were always talking about, how good it was that we were here. And then I remember at the end of the year, the last game against Manly, and they put that video up on the screen after the game, and it was basically club captains from the other clubs just thanking the Warriors. And I thought that too was a bit of a wank session by the NRL. I can understand what you're saying, bro, where you're just probably getting sick and tired of hearing, "Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for keeping the comp running." As the season went on, did the COVID bubble get easier for you guys to live in, or did it get more difficult?
No, yeah, it was still the same. A bit more like it was just honestly a crap time to live. Like just that COVID bubble and that, because you couldn't do anything. Then, like I said before, like if you weren't playing, like you were getting pumped every Saturday, and it was actually pretty hard. Like just to stay motivated and just keep wanting to play, and like we didn't want to use the like people saying thank you as an excuse after every game and that. So it was actually a pretty hard year.
Yeah, well, you've kind of answered my next question, but you play you yourself play 2 more games against the Eels and the Raiders, but unfortunately we fall just short of that fairy tale finals appearance. But we do finish with that big win against Manly, as Mark mentioned earlier. So is that how you look back on that 2020 season, just being a bit of a tough slog?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 2020. It was I don't want to make it as an excuse why we didn't make or anything, but yeah, it was pretty. It was just a crap year.
Yeah, so 2021, the preseason commences with 2 separate squads training in 2 different countries. You're at the Kiama?
Yeah, I was at Kiama.
Yeah. That must have been a pretty strange experience too, because it would only be, I think it was only 12 or 13 guys down in Kiama, and the rest of the squad was in New Zealand or something like that.
Yeah, so when I first started, we had about, I think it was seven boys, maybe even 6 boys, and I remember our very first session, like we were just doing a simple like 2-on-1 drill, but because we had no numbers, it was kind of turning into like a con drill.
Oh, yeah.
I remember we just all looked at each other and we were just like, man, we're in for like a long week here. Then after we done some testing and that, we played a game, and I remember we all thought like we were running, but we got the video up and it honestly looked like we were fast walking. Like we were honestly all stuffed because like there was no numbers there, because a couple of the boys so pretty much when we started, each week we just gained more numbers.
Yeah.
So we were kind of just waiting for each week to come by so we can get more numbers and just like enjoy training. But I remember that first week. Honestly, that first week was actually probably the hardest week of my life.
Which coach was down there with you guys? Because Brownie was over in New Zealand. Did you have Morgo?
We had Morgs. We had
Morgs,
Justin Morgan and Justin Hodges. Not Justin. Craig Hodges.
Craig Hodges.
Yeah.
So the 2 groups do end up coming together in January, and you spend pre-season in Tamworth, then you relocate back to Terrigal for the season. How was it this time around? I'm guessing it's a much better situation than the uncertainty of the previous year.
Yeah, so when we actually when we got to Tamworth and we first joined each other, I remember because of the newsboys also that came in, like Benny Murders and that. To be honest, it's kind of like we already knew each other, like just all the playing group. Because when we came in, everyone was just like, everyone just bonded straight away. So it made it so easy training and getting to know all the boys and that. But then we moved to Terrigal, back to Star of the Sea, and we had restrictions, but they weren't as bad. We could go out and play golf, and it was so much better. I think everyone and all the boys' family came over, so so everyone was loving it.
Yeah, I think that's a difference this year too, is that the families came from the outset, and the club obviously planned well, and they're doing the same thing again for next year. Obviously, they have to plan well for what happens next year. Living as a community with all your teammates for the second season in a row, you must make some really strong bonds and connections with some of your teammates that you ordinarily wouldn't make if you weren't all living together. But at the same time, probably get sick and tired of them being around all the time as well.
Yeah, so I remember when I first moved to Terrigal, I went in with Rocco Berry and Isaiah Vangana, and I didn't really know Isaiah real well. And I remember moving in with him, and we actually came pretty close. So it was actually real good, because the boys that you really didn't know much about in the team, you actually got you knew really well. But also seeing all the boys every day, even on the off days, got a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what type of influence Phil Gould has been was during the off season and during the start of the season at his tenure at the club?
Yeah, so he done more with the coaches. So he didn't really do much with us. He was more with the coaches and directing them around and like just helping them heaps. And like coaches would come to us and feed it to us. But I think he was doing more development as well with the boys over in NZ.
He's that kind of guy though that when he talks, he kind of draws your attention anyway, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, 100%. I remember it was Rogers 100. Oh no, was it? Did Rog play 100 games or
100 games for the Warriors?
Dragons.
Yeah.
For the Warriors.
Dragons.
Yeah.
I remember he got up and spoke, and honestly, it was all the boys. If we could have played that night, like everyone was that pumped, and when he speaks, everyone just listens, and he's honestly one of the best speakers I've ever heard.
Yeah, he just captivates, doesn't he? It's
he honestly gets you so motivated. You want to play footy now.
Yeah. Mate, we saw through our connections with the Warriors NRLW side last year the importance of respecting and embracing the different cultures represented within the squad. And that was something that you guys took on at the beginning of the year this year with your cultural nights. How important were those during the preseason in kind of building that camaraderie within the squad and the respect level of knowing the different cultures of all the guys that you're playing with?
I remember. That was honestly one of the best things we've ever done. Obviously, you got all the different cultures, and I remember each culture got up and spoke about about their nation and country and that, and the most important stuff about them. And I remember we also had a little team activity at the end, and the best thing was everyone got involved and everyone enjoyed it and loved it.
Yeah, they were very good.
Well, speaking of culture, you're again selected to represent the Indigenous All-Stars for the second year in a row. Obviously, it's another proud personal highlight for yourself.
This one was in Townsville, and I remember going up to Townsville. That was my first ever time in Townsville, and I remember going up there, and it was that hot. But each like I said before, each year, if I get selected, I'd be buzzing because I honestly love that week. It's probably the best week ever.
Yeah, and it's great that we honour the two Indigenous cultures like the Māoris and the Indigenous Australians. The way we do, it's a great concept. It's something that everyone looks forward to on the footy calendar too, and the girls as well.
Exactly right.
Mate, we played the Titans in our only trial match in Lismore, and you were one of our best scoring a try in that game. Did you feel coming out of that game that your form was strong enough to command a slot in the 17 for round one?
Nah, to be honest, I was real angry about my game.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We thought you were awesome that game.
We're raving about you.
I remember coming off the field and I was filthy at myself at half time and full time, and I remember I had to be better. I didn't have one of my best games that one.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So what was Brownie's feedback for that? And after you just missed out on selection for round one. So what was Brownie's feedback to you?
So to be honest, in preseason, Brownie kind of gave me a kick in the ass. Probably Brown. Yeah, to be honest, Brownie's bringing out the best of me. He just told me he believes in me in that, and he just wants me to go out there and just pretty much do what I do best, and that's what I try. But I remember that trial game. I wasn't happy with myself, and he knew I wasn't happy with myself, and he told me what I had to work on. Then went back to Cup and played 2 games there. Then got the opportunity to play against the Dragons.
That's right, yeah, mate. I was just going to say that. Yeah, you make your season debut against the Dragons in round 6, a game that we were at. Again, mate, you're one of the best on field that day. Playing it, that was Rogers' 100th game. You must have felt good that you were back in the mix and back playing first grade footy.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he told me. Yeah, I'm in the squad, and I wanted to take it with both hands, and I wanted to try keep that spot, and I just wanted to leave everything out on the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And from that point on, you're a regular fixture in the 17 with some really strong performances. Now, we always ask our guests if they remember their first try in first grade. Surely you remember yours.
Yeah, well, I could have got one against the Cowboys, but I bloody knocked it on.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Sea Eagles.
Yeah, you
yes.
got it.
Jason
Yeah,
Saab,
it was.
he jumped up and he, I think Jason Saab and Wets went for the ball and Saab touched the ball and I just got the luckiest bounce. And I remember catching the ball and I had Tommy at the back and I was like, oh, I got to score this. I wasn't going to let one slip.
Do you remember they took a long time to clear it though? We were watching it on
they
TV.
went up to the bunker.
Yeah.
And I said, I remember I looked at Wets. I'm like, bro, did you touch it? He's like, no, I didn't touch it. I was like, I swear to God, you better not have touched it. And
What round was that?
Yeah. What's that?
What round was that? Was that round
Round
9.
9?
Yeah,
Wasn't it? Yeah, before Magic Round. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we were going through that period of time where the bunker was checking everything.
That's when the big crackdown came on.
Yeah, I remember you got Sinbin. Was it Sinbin against Melbourne? You got Sinbin.
Yeah, I got Sinbin against Melbourne.
For a high shot that wasn't even a high shot. Like,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. That's right. Yes. Yes. Now I remember. All makes sense. I remember that try too, mate. You're paying $9 as an anytime try scorer. It was the easiest $90 I made all season in Australia.
Share the spoils.
It was you and yourself and you and Aitken found yourselves having to quarantine midway through the season for a couple of weeks after flying back from the Gold Coast after the mid-season bye. What happened there?
Yeah, so when we had the bye, I came up to Goldie to see Mum and Dad, and he also came up as well. And I remember we had a bike flight booked on Saturday, but our flight was actually meant to be 12:20, but we jumped on the 1:20 flight because Qantas cancelled it. Oh no, it was Virgin. I was flying with one of them, but they cancelled the flight and they put me on for one later. And I remember I got home and I went to bed and we had training on the Sunday. I woke up on Sunday and my phone was going off and Shawnee was messaging me. And I was just like, I didn't even read it. I was like, because I was getting ready to leave for training. I put my bag on. I read the messages. And he's like, bro, were you on that flight? And I was like, yeah, why? He goes, bro, there's a lady on the flight that got COVID. And I was just like, oh, no way. So I called Dingo up and I remember telling him, yeah, mate, I was on that flight. And he's like, oh, you're going to have to quarantine and get COVID test. And I was like, oh, no way. Then, done 2-week quarantine. Then I remember they bring in like the treadmill. So I had a treadmill and a couple of weights in there. And my treadmill, I don't know why, but every time I ran on it, it was like the loudest treadmill ever because it's a pretty old treadmill. So every time I'd run, the whole block, like my whole unit block would hear me. I remember I had it for 10 days, and the neighbors upstairs, actually said like you actually have to get rid of it because they couldn't put up with the noise anymore.
Did you have to isolate at where you were staying at the Star of the Sea, or did you have to go and isolate somewhere else for that time?
No, so I had to isolate at Star of the Sea in my room, and I remember Rocco and I was living with Wets at that moment because Ice went back home because he had to get surgery on his shoulder.
Yep.
And they had to move out. I remember they was so angry at me. I was like, what am I meant to do?
It's a good way to get your own room, mate.
Yeah, but that was a pretty crazy period. I was just out of everyone that could have got it, it was had it happen to me.
It was kind of that period too. Sorry, Rob. It was kind of that period too where we were having a couple of indiscretions. And like, we had I think it was around the time where there was the weekend at Warnies where they had the barbecue and those guys got suspended for a week, and we had might have been Jai Arrow at Origin trying to sneak somebody in, and he got suspended for 2 weeks. And as Warriors supporters, we were pissed off because we had two guys that were in quarantine who doing the right and didn't do anything wrong, but you guys spent more time out of the game than the guys that were making these poor indiscretions, which really kind of pissed us off a bit.
Yeah. I remember that, and I was. Well, I can't really say much what I'm wanting to do.
No,
just
you can't. We can. You can't.
That's all right. Yeah. Well, the fact when your period of isolation coincided with a bit of a mid-season slump where we lost 7 in a row. So, how hard is it to keep upbeat and optimistic when you're going through such a tough period like that?
Yeah. Obviously, we lost 7 in a row, and it was pretty. I remember everyone was pretty deflated, and. Because we're starting to get a roll on. Then I'm pretty sure. Then we'll actually started to find some rhythm, but that 7 loss. I think, but I think to be honest, I think it all changed when we lost against Penrith, and we played.
You played 50 minutes with no bench.
Yeah. And I remember. I know the score. I don't remember the score, but I don't think we got beat by that much.
30-16. Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember we all just looked at each other, and remember Coach came in and he just said, "Boys, like that effort out there, like you can't be angry at that. Like we had 13 people for 50 minutes. Like, I remember we all just looked at each other and just said, that was pretty much the turning point for us.
Yeah, 100%. The team finished outside the top 8, despite you personally excelling on the field. It must have been frustrating when you look back on the season to come up short in so many close games throughout the season. I think we had like 3 1-point losses, Manly, Dragons, Cowboys, and then we had another 4 games where we lost by 6 points or less. It's really kind of a season of sliding doors moments, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember we spoke about this. We were just like, we had that much, like we had games that we just should have won. And I remember I think there was 5 games, like there was 8 points. We could have been, I remember we said it, we could have been nearly 5th place.
Yeah.
And it's just them games that, just let us down. And I remember we were talking about playing an 80 minutes performance. And I remember each week we play a game, but we got 2 people getting injured and actually couldn't finish the game. But still, we just spoke about not being able to finish games pretty much.
Yeah.
Like we just said, like we got the side to do it. Like you look at our side on paper, it's one of the best sides, but we just couldn't execute or finish the game.
We'll be better for it next year, though. The experience will do us well.
Yeah, 100%. That's what we said. Heaps of the young boys like Rocco Berry and Reece Walsh, get experience. That would be the best thing for them for next year.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. And also off the field, there's still more turmoil. The team's always be on the move, and you're moving from Tamworth to Terrigal, and then you had to move up to the Gold Coast. So how did the squad adapt with this constant moving around?
Yeah, obviously, it was pretty annoying, but to be honest, we're pretty used to it now. So we adapt pretty fast. I don't know. We're just used to it. We're just used to moving around.
It's not a bad place to be located, is it? The Gold Coast,
nah,
single man. Single man on the beach, summer coming in. Hey?
You and Jazz will be out in the town.
Wait, if we take our tops off, we would scare the girls away.
I don't think so, mate. I saw a picture of Jazz with his shirt undone the other day at the awards thing.
Yeah. We had an awards night. It was Hawaiian themed. That was a good night.
Mate, I've noticed after every game you give your headgear away, which is a fantastic gesture, and it's something that those young recipients, will cherish forever. I mean, I got gifted a pair of boots last year by one of the girls in the Warriors team, and I felt like I was a 5-year-old kid getting a Christmas present. It's wonderful to be to receive something like that. Do you have a supply made at the beginning of the year, or what's the go? Do you have to get a new one made up every week? How does
Yeah,
that work?
so I'm with Steeden. So yeah,
Yep.
I'm actually with Steeden. I get headgears each year, and I just like giving my headgear away to little kids and that. Obviously, yeah, for like you said, they cherish the moment, and
Absolutely,
pretty
mate.
much kind of like a thank you for coming out and watch us. But yeah, if I can make a little kid's day, that makes me happy.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Have you? So you're locked in with that the one Indigenous design, or have you got a couple of designs in mind for like to match the Warriors gear or anything like that?
Yeah, I thought about that, but I've always wanted Indigenous headgear, so I just wanted to stick with it and obviously represent my people.
Yeah.
And if I can chuck it on the headgear, I can chuck it on the headgear.
Can you see the comments coming up on the side of the screen?
No, I can't.
Oh, okay. Just wondering. So we link straight to Facebook and YouTube, and there's all the comments from the people watching come up on the side of the screen. And one guy's just put up, Hammer's question is, can you give him one for his Warriors shrine? Do you want my Warriors shrine?
Wait, I got a spare one if you want one. I'll send one.
Bro. Yes, absolutely.
I got one.
Sign it.
All right, sweet.
Done. Yes.
Done
awesome.
deal.
I'll courier it to you from the Gold Coast to Sydney if you like.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. It might get lost in transit, but we'll see.
We'll give Josh one of our soon to be released Roo Hammer hats.
Absolutely, we'll hook you up with some merch. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We kind of.
Yeah, sorry, mate. What were you going to say?
Oh no, I was just going to say we kind of discussed this off air, but obviously being the off season, are you all staying on the Gold Coast for the off season prior to relocating to Redcliffe for the start of next year?
Yeah. So so we're staying up on Goldie. Then I think we're staying here till the 1st of November. That where the place we're staying at. Then we go up to Redcliffe, but I feel sorry for some of the boys because they can't they can't get home, and the staff as well. They actually can't get home to see their family, and like the young boys haven't seen their mum and dad for a year. Yeah. Then also like the staff haven't seen their kids and family for a year or however long it's been, and it's honestly terrible.
Yeah, it is. It is. We keep in contact with Glenn Harris quite a lot, and been keeping up to date with his plight because obviously him and Loza Hale and a couple of the other boys need to get home, and so we've been sharing some stuff on social media as well, and hopefully that can all get worked out sooner rather than later. There's also a handful of New Zealand girls that came out for the NRLW comp that are stuck in Newcastle that can't get home to New Zealand as well. So it's
honestly it's all in the air. It's all crazy.
It is.
They can't go see their family and that, which is it's nuts. I feel sorry. I feel so sorry for them.
It's great that the clubs, making these decisions early. I mean, obviously, we'd love for the squad to be able to get back home and play at Mount Smart, but with the uncertainty of COVID, it's great that the club's doing so much now, pre-planning for next season. I mean, Rob and I talk about it all the time. I can remember, I was at that Melbourne game at Central Coast Stadium, and then a week later I'm in lockdown, and I've been in lockdown since.
Changes so quick, happens so fast.
Yeah, just changes.
It's honestly crazy.
Yeah, I know, mate. I'm in need of a shave. I need a haircut. As you know, we all follow. Well, I follow a lot of you guys on social media, which is a way of how we kind of keep in touch with you as well. Whilst at Terrigal, we'd see lots of posts of you boys playing golf. When we had Maney on earlier in the year, he said that Jacko Frey was the best of the group. Do you concur with that? And how's your golf game, mate? How do you rate yours?
Oh, I'd like to think I'm good, but I don't think I am. But we got a little golf crew here. We every day when we have an off day, we always go play golf. Me and she got to go play tomorrow.
Nice.
Nice.
Where are you going tomorrow?
Surfers Paradise Golf Club.
Yeah. Okay.
So, nice.
There's some great courses up there, mate.
There's so many courses up here as well, honestly.
I know, it's ridiculous.
You guys will have to get in touch with former Warriors legend, Warrior number 76, Big Mark Tukey. He's on the Gold Coast there, and he's quite handy at golf, and he regularly runs golf tournaments. The Tukes Cup, he's got the Big Tukes Cup, so you should try and get in on that. and you can win he's got a fantastic lime jacket made up. So you might be able to get your hands on that. I'm not sure, but yeah, Tukes, if you see this, hook the boys up.
Who's in the golf crew, mate? There's yourself, there's Jacko,
So
Bailey
me,
Smokers.
Jacko, Jermaine, Bailey, Ewan, Murchie, Wado. No way.
Oh, no.
He hates it. He hates golf. I'm like, mate, come on. He hasn't got the time for it.
No?
No.
Really?
Then there's a couple coaches that play.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Craig Hodges, Justin Morgan plays,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure sometimes. Then also our doctor plays, and she's really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we actually got a pretty good crew.
Nice. So do you all, how often would you get out and play golf, mate, as a way of relaxing?
Oh, bro, when we were in Terrigal, me and Jacko, we literally went, like, we'd go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, we were going 3 days in a row and everything.
Really?
Yeah, we got addicted to it bad.
Though Jacko's still playing footy at the moment too, isn't he? They're still playing up at
Yeah, he's up in Redcliffe
yeah.
at the moment.
You
So
guys get up.
he's
You guys go up and watch it?
I haven't been yet. I haven't watched them yet.
Okay. Do you know? I don't know if you can answer this or not. Do you know what's going on with, say, him and Tom Arley in regards to contracts for next year? Because I know Tommy, Jacko, and I think Shawnee O'Sullivan were the only ones that haven't been re-signed as yet. Do you know anything that's going on?
No, I think they all.
Information?
No, honestly, I got no idea. I think they're all trying to figure that out. I think they're in talks.
Yeah, it was good when he made his debut.
Oh,
think
bro, I was so stoked for him.
Mate, I think you. I saw all the.
I honestly swear to
all
God,
the
I was
things
probably more
happening.
happier.
Oh, I think you were.
I remember so we were playing golf when he got told. So
Really?
we were on the golf course. I remember he was about to tee off. Oh no, I was about to tee off, and he got the phone call from Brownie. He's like, "Oh, bro, it's Brownie," and it was before the team was about to get announced, and I knew what it was for. If he's getting a call for him, I knew what it was for.
Yeah.
And he had no idea. And I just remember him going, he got told, and he's like, "Oh, really, Brownie? Thanks for that." And I remember when I heard that, I literally yelled and I threw my golf club and I was like, "Yes!" And I just jumped on him and hugged him. And I was like, "Bro, get happy. Like, be excited." And he's like, "No, I am." But he's got no emotions, that kid.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah,
That's
I remember,
great story. Just playing.
yeah, then we went into the sheds and I sat next to him because he started. And,
Yes.
He did.
he was number 10 and I was number 11. I was sitting next to him. And I could tell he was real nervous because when he gets real nervous, he doesn't talk. I was like, "Nah, it's all good, bro. You would love it." Then after the game, I was so stoked. I couldn't get off him.
Yeah, he had a good debut. I was actually surprised that he didn't get another game or two towards the end of the season because I thought his debut game against the Dogs was pretty good.
Yeah, bro, he actually killed it. I was so happy for him.
Yeah. Okay, Rob's just about to ask you a couple of rapid fire questions that we ask all our guests, mate. And I'm going to scroll through all the viewer comments and get some more questions after that. So here you go, Robert.
All right.
Off to you, mate.
Joshy, who is your toughest teammate?
Toughest teammate. I don't like tackling Adam. Adam's pretty tough. He's tough. Or Benny Murders.
Yeah, they both look hard to tackle. Who's the best sledger?
Tohu.
We've heard that.
Honestly, Tohu. He is a silent assassin.
He
Just going to say, he's real silent assassin. He barely says anything. Okay, interesting. Who's the biggest pest? I think we know this one.
Yep.
Jazz.
Yeah. Of course. He even said himself when we had him on. Who's your toughest opponent?
I came up against heaps. Jesse Bromwich. He was pretty tough.
First game, yeah. Baptism of fire. The most professional in regards to game preparation.
Marcelo Montoya.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Shawnee O'Sullivan.
Oh, okay, cool. Best trainer.
Best trainer? Marcelo.
Marcelo ticking boxes.
Yeah.
Who's the team comedian?
Jazz and Adam. Them two
Adam
together.
as well?
Yeah.
We have
When
heard
they-
Adam's funny, yeah.
When them two are together, they just rip into each other.
What about Kano?
Yeah, actually, yeah, Kano. Kano's funny as well. Them three.
It's usually a combination of them three that we get for that answer.
Yeah.
Okay, who's the worst trainer?
Oh, the worst trainer. I don't know that one. Worst trainer.
Don't want to throw anyone
I
under
don't-
the bus.
Everyone's
No
good.
one. You guys are all fantastic trainers. Yep.
Okay, I've got a couple here, mate. What's your most embarrassing on-field moment? Is it losing your footing and running into the hand sanitizer after the Sharks game?
Bro, so what happened? Our trainer put our water bottles right in front of me, and because I was wearing metal studs, as I stepped over the water bottles, my stud got stuck on the handle. I remember I was falling. I couldn't catch myself. And I just seen I don't know. I seen the wall. I didn't even see the hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
I seen the wall. The last time I seen the hand sanitizer, and yeah.
That was funny.
Just one more. Just going back to Kano. Does he happen to have any nicknames within the team?
Yeah.
Giraffe.
Giraffe. Okay.
Is Glenn Harris calling him origami?
Well, I haven't heard that one. Maybe that's just between them two.
Because we coined the because of that fold sum on his
Some
on his
guy.
tape.
Yeah.
We've nicknamed him origami.
Origami Evans. Go on, get us started. Get us started amongst the boys.
Yeah, origami. Do you have any pre-game rituals or like superstitions that you go through before a game?
Nah, I used to. I used to always wear the same undies, but then I got out of that. But I just have pizza pasta before the game. That's everything. I've always had it when I was young. And it was always stuck with it.
Okay. What's your most memorable moment in your career so far?
Debuting.
Did
And
you
playing
have?
for Digi All Stars?
Oh, yep. Who were your heroes growing up?
My family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from golf, what other hobbies or pastimes do you enjoy away from footy?
I don't mind going surfing a little bit, trying to surf. But golf, surfing, maybe playing a bit of video games with the boys.
If you had never become an NRL player, what career path do you think you would have been in?
So I got my I have a trade, so I done my plumbing when I was at school.
Oh, nice.
Then also done a personal training course.
Yep.
But yeah, after footy, I want to try be a police officer.
Oh, okay. Nice. Who's been the biggest influence on your career?
Probably my dad.
Big Dave. Eh?
Just
Big
leave-
Davey.
Just
We
leave
met
me
Dave
around.
at Magic Round. Lovely bloke.
Great fella.
Speaking to him for so long.
He loves the chat. He's like a radio
know.
man.
I know. And then because I think he listens to our podcast. He's a truck driver, is he?
Nah, he does. He works on the road. He does like safety equipment and that. But
Yeah.
he's always on the road.
Because he said, when we were telling him about like what we were doing and stuff like that, he grabbed all the info and he said he's going to start listening to it every week, and he follows everything that we do. So massive shout out to Dave. He's a lovely man.
G'day, Dave.
A couple more questions. A lot of comments here, mate. So just saying,
A lot of love for you
good.
in the comments. Congratulating you on your fantastic season.
No,
Yeah.
thank you,
to you
everyone. I
guys.
appreciate it.
Stevie Williams is upset because I got this signed jersey sent to me from Glenn Harris during the week, and Stevie says, "Can you hit Josh up for a jersey?" The answer's no. So Mark Roberts says, so Roo and Hammer, what's Josh's nickname you give the players? So we have a thing where we give all the players nicknames. And when we talk about the game, we talk about the players via their nicknames. So like Kane Evans is called Origami. Trying to think of some of the others.
Hectic Montoya.
Hectic Montoya, yeah. We call and we got them for the other team. So we call Angus Crichton. We call him Lord Farquaad because he looks like Lord Farquaad from Shrek. And what's his name? Viliami Kickow looks like a court judge, so we call him judge. Yeah. So we haven't debuted your nickname yet, but because of your initials, JC, and because you were our saviour for a lot of the season this season, I've christened you either the saviour or the Messiah. So
I like the saviour. Yeah.
So we're going to call you the saviour. Like Reece Walsh is the golden child or the chosen one.
Yeah.
The chosen one.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
so we're
true.
calling you the saviour. So that'll be your new nickname. Just a couple more questions. Josh, I bet you're stoked with your form this year. You re-signed for 2 years, didn't you, bro?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
So when I done my elbow, that's when I sorted all that out.
Yeah. Fun times, Harpy. Mark Roberts has just commented. Just a lot of thank yous. Thanks for giving us 100% every single game. Incidentally, just a question from me. How difficult was it not getting game time last year when you kind of, like as a rugby league player, you kind of back yourself for your own abilities and so forth? Do you find it very disheartening or very hard, especially when there was no reserve grade comp to show your wares and you're not playing any footy? Was that like probably the most difficult period you've been through as a footy player?
Yeah, because there was no reserve grade and you couldn't really prove yourself on what you could do or pretty much just prove yourself to the coach that you can play. All you can do was training, but training you probably train in season, depends when you play. You can train like 3 times a week or 2 times a week, but it's totally different to actually playing. So that was probably the most annoying thing. If you didn't make the team, it's just you couldn't play.
Dylan Moley asks, are you looking forward to playing with SJ next year?
Yeah, I actually really am. Obviously, with all his experience and the way he plays, I'm really looking forward to it.
Malcolm Earnshaw, you keen for a game at Mount Smart next year?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I can't wait. When that round 22 game got cancelled, all the boys were so angry.
Spewing, yeah. It's going to be massive when you guys get back there. It's going to be huge.
We've got so many of our squad that have never played there.
Over there.
The Merch is the weirdest one, though. He's been at the club now for 2 seasons and never played there.
I know.
But yeah,
it's like that game that we were meant to play at Mount Smart. It got sold out in like a day or something.
That's right. Yeah.
So we were meant to go over there for a week, and honestly, I was looking so forward to it.
I hope next year that you get to go home for a couple of games, and I hope next year too that the Southeast Queensland Warrior supporters up there get to the games, whether they're at Redcliffe or Seabus or wherever you guys play. Similar to what we tried to organise this year at Central Coast.
There's a big fan base up here.
Absolutely, there is. We will be there. We will turn out. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we'll be there. I'll be up there every weekend. Absolutely. Joshy, we want to thank you for coming on and chatting with us, bro. So candidly, it's been a real privilege to watch you improve as the season went on. We look forward to continuing to watch your journey, especially in our Warriors colours over the next 2 seasons. Mate, I personally and Rob personally wants to thank you for the time you gave us off the field at different stages throughout the season. We really appreciate that, mate. And we have a saying here on Roo and Hammer that those who have played for our club are forever and always, and you made a forever and always Warrior 238. So thanks for coming on, mate, and chatting with us.
No, cheers, boys. Thanks for having me. I just want to say, everyone out there, thanks for the support, and hopefully we can get it next year.
No worries.
Congratulations on your form. It's been awesome. It's a real honour to be able to connect with you and to share it with the people that are watching. So we really appreciate your time tonight.
Absolutely.
No, cheers, boys.
Tell the other boys. Tell like Wado and you and Aiken and that, tell them to check their DMs on Instagram, because I've sent them a couple of messages to try and get some of these boys on, just to have a chat, because we get so many people that just request us to talk to you
sweet.
guys. Yeah, so
Sweet,
but
too easy.
thanks, bro, and I'll send you my address so you can send me that headgear, mate.
Yeah, sweet, no worries.
Thanks, Joshy.
Thanks,
Enjoy
Joshy.
your season,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Cheers.
bro.
Bye.
Oh, mate, what a champion bloke, eh?
Great fella. Another awesome chat. It's always great though. Past, present, future Warriors. We just love talking footy, reliving the experiences, hearing about what goes on behind the scenes. There's nothing about us.
We hear so many different stories too, like
Different perspectives.
Absolutely. I mean, the guy goes and he plays his debut and you see them run on the field and that, but to hear, that story behind it all, before he made his debut, to hear the story of how he came to leave the Roosters and end up at the Warriors within 3 days, it's
crazy. It's crazy how quick that the landscape of the modern footy player.
Yeah, exactly. And just hearing like, the behind the scenes stuff that we don't get to hear, like, the season that he had last year where he pretty much only played 3 games, but he's in isolation, he's doing all the training, he's going through everything. You kind of forget about those kind of things, and it's probably similar to what a lot of guys have gone through this year. And
you can sense the frustration. Yeah, you can just feel that in what he was saying, and the whole sort of roller coaster of last year.
Great chat. Thanks everyone for tuning in and sending through your questions.
Appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, stay with us for probably another 20 minutes or so. We'll just quickly run through the finals from last week, and then talk about the final coming up this week.
We'll get through that. So, as we know, the NRL final started last Friday night at the Sunshine Coast Stadium. We had Storm 40 over Manly 12. Storm tries to Pappenhausen a double. Lumi, Kenny Bromwich, Welch, Olam, and Pappenhausen 7 from 8. And that massive 2-point field goal, just nonchalantly slotted by little Pappy at the end there. Manly double to Saab, Garrick 2 from 2. Cometh the finals, cometh the team. You have to say people were doubting the Storm, but, geez, they turned up and then some. Putting to bed any of these suggestions that they were on a bit of a form slump. Just absolutely way too good in all areas. Turbo with a quiet game, it must be said. They did their homework on him. And, Melbourne just way too good and, looking likely for another grand final appearance.
Mate, I tipped Manly based on Melbourne's last month of footy, and, boy, was I wrong. Almost back to full strength. They're big match players, just play big match footy, don't they? And they really dialed it in for a big performance. Mate, I thought that they didn't allow Turbo to get into the game, and I honestly didn't see that result coming. I thought Turbo would be able to get into the game at some stage. For me, the NRL refereeing consistencies continued midway through the second half. Turbo hit Jerome Hughes with a high shot, and it was a decision that they just deemed penalty sufficient. But man, I have no argument with the decision. However, if that was Lodge or Hetherington or Waria Hargraves or Radley or Tavanga, that's on report, and they're looking at 2 weeks suspension on the sideline.
Reputation. Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. But, Melbourne, all class. And you'd have to say now with they'd be pretty much favourites to go through from their side of the draw, I think.
Yeah, they'd have to be now. Just very strong performance on all levels. First game, we had a double header up there in Townsville. The first game at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. The Roosters 25 over the Titans 24. Roosters tries to Ikavalu, Tedesco, Tupou, and Morris. Kieran 4 from 5, and Walker with the all-important field goal. Titans tries to Fermor, Fasu Malawe, Kelly, and Wallace, and Jamal Fogarty 4 from 5. I had a feeling this was going to be a close one. Out of all the games this weekend, this was actually the one I was probably looking forward to watching most. Fairly evenly matched, and for the most part, the Roosters looked like they had things under control, but the Titans just managed to stick with them, and they just hung in the contest. And fatigue became a real factor at the back end of that game, particularly for the Roosters. You see when that try was virtually gifted to Jared Wallace there and got it back to 24 all, and then became a real arm wrestle. But young Sam Walker proving that he is clutch, so clutch for such a young man, although he did get a bit of help from the great wall of the Roosters. Yeah. It's what a finish. What a hectic final 30 seconds. And mate, we've got to say, poor old Paddy Herbert with a real Logan Swan moment. I mean, he'll be replaying that over and over again in his head. And let's say in the heat of the moment, and you've got in an important game, you've got to get that decision right. But it must be hard to work that. Like, you think
he became a meme pretty quick, didn't he?
It did. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like in the heat of the moment, like you've got to get that decision right, and
absolutely,
unfortunately, he didn't quite ice that one.
No, far from it, mate. I thought it was a really mistake-ridden game, especially the first half. Both teams completed it like just over 60%, and it didn't get any better for the Roosters in terms of completions in the second half as well. And I think that frequent turnover of possession prevented them from sustaining any momentum and any pressure, which kind of kept the Titans in the game.
Yeah.
It was an entertaining second half. I loved how the Titans just really tried to move the Roosters' defense around, and guys like Peachy and Campbell were able to create some opportunities. The Roosters were tough and resilient, but as we've seen all season. But I thought that Kelly try in the second half, midway through the second half, really highlighted how the Roosters' middle to third defense can be very lazy and give up on the play when they think the ball it's broken down or the ball's gone past them. Tedesco was at his best. That last 8 minutes was just a drop ball-a-thon, but it was so exciting to watch. But the final two plays, both Firma with his run, he really didn't position Philip Sami too well, and Sami didn't position himself either. Sami should have, in my opinion, come in sooner, which would have put Teddy in two minds, because it just, with Sami on his outside, it just still allowed Teddy to keep coming across at Firma. Whereas if Sami cuts back on the inside, it kind of puts Teddy back on his heels. And then obviously the next one where Paddy Herbert had either a pass to an unmarked Corey Thompson or a pass to an unmarked
David Fafita. Yeah, he almost had too many options, unfortunately.
My mate Wines I heard Corey Thompson's invited Paddy Herbert to go camping at Belangolo State Forest.
Oh, jeez. Look, he wasn't happy afterwards, was he? But he was quick. Corey Mallat. He was quick to go to social media and
he was, wasn't he? That was
put that to bed. Yeah,
that was bizarre. I will address the elephant in the room, though. I think that play the ball where the Roosters had set up the decoys in line or in front of the play of the ball to create that bit of a shield, that's got to be looked at. That's just garbage. But yeah, I guess that game kind of proved to me that the Titans were probably the best team to finish eighth, because I think if it's us or Cronulla or Canberra, we don't put in a performance like that to stay in the game.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And they came in with some good form, albeit it was against us. But yeah, great game to watch. And definitely feel sorry for Paddy, but he'll come back from that bigger and stronger. The following on from that, what a game this was. Panthers 10 over the Rabbitohs 16 over the Panthers 10. Panthers tries to Crichton, Cleary 3 from 3, and the Rabbitohs Walker and Paulo with tries, and Reynolds 4 from 5. What a classic finals contest this was. Tough and exciting game to watch. I was really impressed with South. He's only got one try, and that was from that bat back from the kick. So they did really well to scramble and hold them out for a team with such an attacking arsenal like Penrith. And has Bennett timed their run perfectly? He's well known for doing this, getting his teams absolutely primed just at the right time for a push at the title. And now Yeah, and now the Panthers, they've got all the work to do. So this pushes them into sudden death. And all of a sudden, what everyone assumed was going to be the Storm Panthers grand finals off the table now. They're going to have to do it the hard way.
Absolutely, mate. I was really impressed with South. As you said, Wayne Bennett, he's been here that many times before. He knows how to get his team ready. He knows how to take all the talk away from the team. He brought out the controversy with him and Ivan Cleary, and it kind of takes everything away from the team. There's no focus on the team. All the media is talking about Wayne. He's fantastic at doing that. I thought, the South had all the early ball in the Panthers half for the first 8 to 10 minutes, and they couldn't score. And then Penrith kind of withstood that attack, and they got down the other end of the field and they scored. And I thought that was going to be it. But mate, South just got into the contest. They really troubled the Panthers. They knew, they took their defense was so good. Their line speed was great. I think the fact that Moses Leota didn't play for Penrith, I think, was a big out for them, because they usually go 1-2 with him and James Fisher-Harris, and instead they had
a bit of punch.
Yeah, they had Matt Eisenhuth playing, who looked like a Woody doll from Toy Story. What was up with that? With his shoulders, he looked ridiculous, and he gave no impact into the in that side. And I think that's where the Penrith lost their go forward with a guy like Moses Leota. But yeah, you're right. Penrith have now moved into that hard part of the draw. So, if they play, who do they play this week? They've got Panthers, Parramatta this week. Yep. If they lose to Parramatta this week, how much of a bust season is that? Where they're so dominant for so long. Everyone's talking about them, being so good, and the only games they lost in that mid part of the season was because they had their origin stars out. But if they lose now, they go losing the grand final last year to out this year. For this to be a successful year for the Panthers, they have to win the grand final. Anything less than that is a failed season.
Yeah, 100%. They were there last year. That they were the best team for most of this year.
Yep.
And now they've got a fight on their hands.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a toughest run to a grand final I think you could have to get through the Melbourne Storm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They'll deserve to if they win it. They'll 100% deserve it. Absolutely.
And we'll talk about that a bit later on when we get into the pre-game stuff. But mate, Adam Reynolds, absolutely amazing game. Such great game management, and I think off the back of him alone, next year you've got to think that the Broncos are close to a top 8 side.
Oh, absolutely. They're already playing quite well at the end of the season, and throw him into the mix. He'll be great, experienced level head for all those young guys there. They're a team to look out for.
Yeah,
absolutely. Next year, definitely. He could be the player of the season. Final game of week 1 of the finals, we went to Rocky, and we had the Eels 20. Eels try to double to Ferguson. Wanga Blake, Moses, and Penasini with that penalty try, and Moses 4 from 5. The Knights, Tuala with a hat trick, and Hunt with tries. Clifford 2 from 5. Much like the Roosters-Titans game, the Eels always kind of looked like they had it in control, but the Knights just hung around. They just stuck with them. Every time that the Eels kind of pulled away, the Knights struck back on that problematic right-hand side for Parramatta there, obviously with Tuala getting that hat trick. But how about the howler of a decision leading up to the penalty try with Clint Gufferson? I don't know how that's not ruled a knock on. Like, they're watching it, the ball hits the ground, then he kicks it, and then he goes, "We've cleared that." Or like, how can you clear that? Even the commentators were saying that.
In the hang on a tick. So I spent a bit of time with my NRL rules book, which I've got. And basically that decision is correct because they classed it as a drop kick. But
drop kick?
There was no way he was ever going for a drop goal. Common sense should have prevailed and said that was a drop ball. Because that's what it looked like. It was.
But it's only in the context of you're genuinely going for a shot at field goal, right?
Correct. That's what it says. But it's happened in the past. It happened a couple of years ago with Billy Slater. And I can't remember how many years and what game, but the same thing where he's dropped the ball, he's gone to kick it, it's hit the ground, then it's hit his boot, and they deemed it as and Melbourne scored off it, and they deemed that as a drop kick as well. But yeah,
I stand corrected then if that is a technicality in the rule book.
Mate, I was blowing up as well on the night. I thought it should have been a knock on, and was just a really contentious call. But for me, I think Para were the better team anyway. I was really impressed. Mitch Moses finally stood up in a big game and directed his team around and took control of the game. So for me, that was a big one. That's going to be the big test for Mitch Moses this week, though, is whether he can back it up again. And we'll head into the finals previews now. The first finals at Friday night at BB Stadium, Manly versus the Roosters. Manly welcome back Lachlan Croker, who missed last week's game with a back injury. His inclusion has forced Mad Dog Carl Lawton back to the bench and Curtis Sirenen back to the extended bench, and no other changes for Manly. The Roosters, Siwa Taukiaho has been sidelined with a leg injury. His bench spot is taken by Nat Butcher, who himself is returning from a knee injury that has kept him out for the last 3 weeks. Sam Verrills, front of the judiciary last night, he was found guilty and he's cops a 2-match ban. So I would assume that Ben Marshke, who was named on the extended bench, probably comes onto the bench for him. Possibly Lockie Lamb will move from half to hooker, and then Sammy Walker will probably start. I thought the Roosters were gallant last week. They were rattled by a gallant Titans outfit last week, and probably lucky to come away with that win. I think Manly will have Daz will have Manly prime now, knowing that the Panthers' loss has really opened up that side of the draw for an easier run to the grand final. Roosters, Manly, and Souths. I expect Manly to bounce back and put the Roosters to the sword. And I'll say Manly 1-12, but could be like 13 or 14, somewhere around that.
Yeah, I expect Manly to come out and breathe fire. And we keep saying, when are the Roosters going to run out of legs? When are they going to run out of gas? And I think they've been so gallant all year, but I think Manly will just have a bit too much for them. Yeah, I can see, like you said, maybe I think it could actually end up blowing out this one. So I think Manly could end up winning by 18-20.
Yeah.
BB Prince Stadium, same ground, Mackay, Panthers versus Eels. Panthers, Moses Leota, the man you were talking about before, returns with a leg injury that saw him as a late withdrawal last week. Matt Eisenhuth makes out of the 21-man squad completely. Dylan Evans, he was a late withdrawal last week, returns at fullback. Stephen Crichton moves to the wing, and your mate Charlie Shitstains drops out of the 21-man squad also. Scott Sorensen, returns from his dislocated wrist injury, and Spencer Leniu drops back to the extended bench. And for the Eels, Ryan Madison named on the interchange bench after being available last week but not included. And Makatoa is the surprise player named to drop back to the extended bench. And no other changes to the Eels team that beat the Knights last week.
How do you see this one, mate?
Yeah, I think, again, Panthers will come out and they'll have a point to prove after last week. They'll be one for this one. And I feel that they will, again, have too much for Parramatta, who have, up until the last 4 weeks, they were in all sorts. Not in particularly good form. It was only the final round of the season where the Panthers towed them up, albeit under strength Eels team. But I expect them to come away with a fairly comfortable win and set up a mouth-watering prelim final against the Storm.
Yeah, mate. As I said before, the Panthers won't want to end their season with 2 losses and a straight elimination from the final series.
Yeah.
No. So I expect that they will come out fired up for this one. As I said before, I think Moses Leota is going to be a massive in for them in that forward pack with Woody having to sit out now.
Or is it Team America?
Oh, mate, the Thunderbird. He looked like a Thunderbird, actually. Yeah.
Gary Johnson.
If Mitch Moses can play another dominant role though for the Eels like he did last week, it will go a long way.
Big game and then some. Yeah,
it'll go a long way towards the Eels being competitive. However, I just think the Panthers will be too strong. They've got just too much punch across the park. The interesting one for me is the Eels Makatoa. I thought he's been probably their best go forward guy aside from Isaiah Papali'i the last back end of the season. And for Papali'i now to be on the bench and Makatoa to be dropped altogether, I think what's his name? Brad Arthur's lost the plot. So mate, I think the Panthers will win this.
Doing some Brian Smith style mind games, eh?
Who knows? With the team he's named, I would say the Panthers 13 plus. They'll do it in a canter and set up that mouth-watering game against the Melbourne Storm.
But imagine if the Eels do manage to jag a win and they come up against the Storm having beaten them twice this year. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would be. I don't think they'll get them 3 times.
Don't think he'll have it a third time. We got some great live guests coming up, mate, for our live chats. So some of our upcoming guests, we do. Some great guests, actually. Wonderful guests. Cam George is joining us on Wednesday, 29th of September. The end of season review we've got on the 6th of October, and we'll be doing that with Brad and Richie from The Standoff, and Up High from Hold the Ball will be joining us for that one as well. We've got our Women in League special, Women Off League, I should say, Wednesday, 13th of October. So we've got LU stars Georgia Hale and Karina Brown, and also joined by NRL journalist Katie Brown. Warriors legend hooker in the 2002 grand final, PJ Marsh, joining us on the 20th of October chat. And Kiwi legend Mark Graham, he'll be joining us on the 27th of October. Plus more to be announced as we lock in some dates, so stay tuned.
They are some good guests, some really good guests, some great guests actually.
Wonderful.
I'm looking forward to them. Just had a message too that just maybe have a guest for next week as well. I kind of left it open. There's a couple of guys that I've been chatting to, so we may have the merchandise on next week.
The merchandise.
Yeah,
fantastic.
The merchandise has just messaged me on Messenger, so yeah, possibly.
Perfect.
Yeah. As always, we just want to let everyone know they're on the Patreon platform now, which is a membership platform that enables people to show their support and of us and our content by signing up for a monthly subscription. It's a platform with different tier levels can be set up to cater for different budgets. And each tier level will have its own rewards and benefits, including exclusive Patreon-only merchandise. So keep your eyes out for that.
That's it. You can head to our Patreon page to show your support and subscribe to our bronze tier Patreon that is available now. Our bronze tier is set at the lowest amount possible of $3 a month, which is less than a cup of coffee. We've partnered with Torius Screen Print as well to produce a range of merchandise for us, which will be available very soon. And there'll also be some exclusive Patreon-only merchandise for our silver, gold, platinum, and diamond level Patreon tiers, and we'll be announcing those in the coming weeks. And the exclusive Patreon merchandise will not be for sale and will be available only to Patreon members.
That's right, mate. Yeah. And we do want to thank those that have subscribed to our Patreon program so far on our bronze tier, which Rob was just saying. Daniel Delore, Peregrine Falconer, Sean Kurzweil, The Kirch, Nick McKercher, Mary Carter, Fabian Moroa, Siala Afamasanga, Stevie Williams, Christian Catley, and Alf Tuolave. So thank you very, very much to you guys. We appreciate your support. And
thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate all of you guys. And don't forget, if you do miss any of our live shows, you can catch up on our Facebook page by going to the videos section, or you can go to our YouTube channel and catch up there. and subscribe on our YouTube channel, so you'll never miss any of our streamed content.
Yeah, mate. And if you're a podcast fan, you can catch all our episodes on our podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple, Google, Breaker, Radio Direct, and iHeartRadio. Make sure you subscribe to us there. I upload all the episodes so that they're there to listen to every Thursday morning. And you can please head to our Roo and Hammer Instagram page, where we upload daily content to our followers and keeps everyone informed of our upcoming events.
Well, mate, that brings us to an end of another fantastic episode. A little birdie tells me it might be your 30th birthday next Monday. So happy birthday to you for then. Happy birthday from all of us and all the viewers. You look good. You look very good for your age.
I wish I was 30, mate. I'm turning 52 next Monday.
Oh, stop it.
So thank you very much. And I do have to give a shout out too. It's been a big week of birthdays. It was my mum's birthday last Saturday. It was my partner Marissa's birthday yesterday. This Saturday, the great Juan. It's his birthday as well. And then obviously mine on Monday. So it's a big week of birthdays for us here. And thank you, mate. I appreciate that.
Nice, mate.
It's going to be one of those weird ones where I just sit in the house and can't see anyone anyway. So, I'll probably be eating cake and filling up on food.
We'll sure party for you, mate. We'll
do that,
get something organised. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, mate. Everyone have a wonderful week. Whatever you're doing, be safe. Thanks again to Josh Curran for coming on and having a chat. We love the connections that we've made with the Warriors, particularly this year, and the fact that these guys are keen to come on and have a chat with us and tell us their stories. And we're glad that everyone can join in and listen and be a part of it. So thank you, everyone, for your support and for tuning in. And I will see you all next week. Thanks,
That's
buddy.
Exactly, mate. Yep. You guys all take care out there. Thanks again for tuning in, and stay safe, everyone, and go the Warriors.
Go the Warriors.